We're going to run through 9 clips. The first 5 will hit on a couple ways Edwin navigates around his opponent's jab using the drop, pull, or pull drop pattern. Also, we'll take a look at 2 evading techniques after he drops, either pendulum back or walk back. And a personal note, the walk back just looks slick. Then we'll get into 2 ways he sets up a jab to the body, either timing his opponent as his opponent commits or just by initiating it. Finally, we're going to end with 2 clips showing a jab cross combination, and depending where his opponent goes dictates what he throws next. And a quick note on the rabbit hole I just went down. I was thinking about Gary Russell versus Jose Valenzuela coming up in March. So I thought, since I already did something on Gary, that maybe it's time to look at Jose, which led me to the Edwin fight. And I have to say, Edwin's patterns just jumped out, which then led me to watching back the Edwin versus Shakur. All right, enough of the backstory. Let's get into the weeds. Jose's going to commit his lead as Edwin looks to pull. And one thing to note, Edwin's head is over his lead foot, which gives him room to pull towards his rear foot right here. Next, he's going to push off this rear foot, lift his lead, snapping out that jab. So that's pull, counter jab. Next, it's the same idea. Shakur is going to commit as Edwin looks to pull. Now this time, instead of coming back with a counter, Edwin drops right here, looking for the potential rear cross from Shakur. Simple enough. So that's pull, drop. Okay, let's see Edwin add on to the sequence. Shakur is going to commit as Edwin pulls, then drops. No rear cross comes, so Edwin pushes off his rear foot, lifts his lead, and fires out that jab. So that's pull, drop, jab. Now we'll see Edwin get rid of the pull entirely. Instead, he'll go with a drop. Jose commits his jab as Edwin drops. Not pull drop, rather drops, getting under the jab. Now what I really want to focus in on this clip is how he evades. After that drop, his rear foot is loaded, which allows him to spring back. So that's drop, pendulum. All right, same idea. Shakur will commit as Edwin drops. Now, with all his weight on his rear foot, Edwin could bring his lead foot back, switching stances momentarily. Check out the open stance, then immediately switches back into the closed stance. So that's drop, step back, switch. Okay, now we'll get into some of his offense and a timing counter. First note, Edwin's high guard right here. He's going to push off that rear foot, lift his lead, throwing a jab to the body. Easy enough. And let's see that again. Jab to the body. Similar flow, he's going to bring up his high guard right here. But this time, he's looking to time Shakur, meaning punch on the same beat as Shakur. So again, he's pushing off his rear foot, lifting his lead, throwing that jab to the body. And there it is. All right, let's get into the final 2. Check out the heads over the lead foot. He's going to shift his weight to his rear foot right here. He's going to push off that rear foot, lift his lead, throwing out a backhanded jab, then rear cross. The cross puts his weight back on that lead foot, which allows him to throw his leaping hook, hook to the body, and then back to the head. Now let's look at Jose for a second. Check out the high guard. He's looking to catch this jab, block the rear cross, and right here's a little foreshadowing. Check out how he looks to catch the leaping hook on his lead foot. And still being on the lead foot, he eats a body shot and then head shot. And let's play that back for Edwin. So that's jab, cross, leaping hook, body, head. Okay, now let's compare that to this sequence. Jose again will push off that rear foot, lift his lead, snapping out his jab, then rear cross. This time he's going to change the order, go into the body first, then head. And the question is why? And Jose is going to tell us. Jose wasn't looking to catch, then block. He ended up pulling, then dropping. The jab snapped his head back like a pull to his rear foot. Then the rear cross followed him. And so the reason why Edwin goes to the body first is because Jose pulled, then dropped, instead of catching and blocking. So for Edwin, that's jab, cross, body, head.